There's my baby.
Hello everyone, I am Melissa Bondi.
And I'm Dana Denha, and this is Adventures in Parenthood. Throughout this series, we'll explore the world of raising kids from newborn through adulthood.
And today we have two very special miniature co-hosts with us, helping us kick off our 1-year anniversary of Adventures in Parenthood. We have Bryn, my 2.5-year-old daughter, and we also have Keaton, who just turned 2, and this is Dana's daughter.
Oh, did you say happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
Oh.
Happy birthday, you just had a party.
Yeah.
Keaton loves her birthday, so she says it's her birthday every day still.
You like to blow the candles out, huh?
No, I think she just likes all the attention.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll go get that.
You guys can,
Okay.
you can play a little bit if you want, but you should stay over here with us. Don't you want to play in the light?
No. So basically today, Dana and I were wanted to introduce the girls, and we've talked about them for a year now on the show.
You've seen some pictures and stuff, but this is the first time we've actually had a chance to meet them, but they're at 2 and 2.5. They're a little wild, so there's no like controlling them.
And it's the first time they've met, so we kind of feel like they have the same hair, same color hair, same style hair. It's too funny.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't expect. Well, because you only see pictures, so I never really thought about it until I saw them next to each other. Yeah, I am your mama. I'm right here, and I'm doing a show with you, talking about you.
I'm right here, Mom.
Say hi. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the camera, girls. Exactly. Are you guys gonna host shows too when you get older?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be on TV?
Yeah.
Like Daniel Tiger?
Yeah.
What's your favorite show, Bryn? What do you like to watch? Your Feet?
Minnie.
Oh, Minnie, that's a good show.
Oh, yeah. So this is what happens when you bring 2-year-olds on a set. You never know what you're going to get, but it's too funny, too cute. And we've covered such an array of topics that have pertained to both of the girls before, so it's been super fun. And I think that we have the topics really are endless. I think we've discussed that before.
Yeah, for sure.
What we can talk about. I think that we've got a really great show today too, though.
Yeah, and we had 2 guests that are kind enough to let us have our crazy babies in the studio today.
Super nice.
Ann Arbor has 159 parks that need regular maintenance, and they do so with the help of dedicated volunteers. One organization, Give 365, works with kids and adults alike to beautify our city parks and make them a fun place to play. Joining us is Erika Pratt, Recreation Supervisor with the City of Ann Arbor, and Melissa Schacht, Adoptive Park Coordinator. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
So we're talking about Give 365, but Give 365 and Adoptive Park kind of go hand in hand, right? Can you explain why they go together?
Right.
Yeah, well, I kind of explain it as Give is the umbrella of volunteer and outreach within the park system, and under that umbrella, one of the kind of programs is Adopt a Park, and that's what Melissa oversees. It's kind of a sub-program, but it's also with volunteers. Most people know when you say Adopt a Park what that means. Most people don't know what Give 365 means.
The Adoptive Park program has been around a little bit longer.
Correct.
Yeah. So can you explain what Give 365 is and how people can get involved in it?
Yeah, sure. Hopefully your viewers have seen us around. Give 365 is in its 7th season, or 7th summer, 7th year. And it's really, it's the volunteer and outreach program within parks. So that means, can mean a lot of different things. Basically, we're working with volunteers to pretty much do anything that we can that's going to improve or beautify or enhance a city park. With 159 park properties, there's a lot of potential to do many different things. So some of the more traditional things like beautification, trash pickup, painting picnic tables, any of those sorts of things. But we also do programming and special events where volunteers help kind of as staff and interact with the community, or are doing face painting, or those sorts of things. So anything that we can do in a park that volunteers are willing to do with us that are going to, improve, enhance either the park itself or the experience that people can have in the park. Those are the boundaries we have, so they're pretty wide.
Okay. And what are we talking age range wise for your volunteers?
I just saw a baby at one of the events.
If you're a parent, you can bring your child at any age.
Okay.
So we do many cleanup projects and Melissa can talk more about that in the neighborhoods where, kind of the adult is obviously initiating it, but, introducing your children to community service or help maintaining your neighborhood park is a great way to kind of expose kids to like, hey, we're all responsible, we're gonna take care. And we have really cool things like trash pickers or like a long tool. Younger kids love that. So we work with a lot of groups that are maybe Girl Scouts, ages 7 and 8, and they come as a group. If it's kind of independent kids, you've got to at least be 10, kind of in our junior volunteer age. Where you don't need to be with mom or dad, but you kind of have to be with our junior volunteer program that we have that runs during the school year. But really, any age, up until 110 or whatever.
I've definitely seen some people out at the pool doing the splash days, and that's so much fun. I mean, that's fun for the volunteers, and I mean, you're just like playing with kids, basically. Yeah,
it's great. I mean, we're just out there trying to, bring some games and fun, and the volunteers are great. They're engaging with.
Well, and I think that's like part of that you don't think about when you're volunteering for something. Like you think, oh, work days, like I'm gonna be getting dirty, getting my hands dirty doing something, but it's like it's different aspect of the parks volunteering.
Yeah, we do it with some of our special events. Volunteers come, they sign up, and they don't know what they're going to be doing. When they arrive, typically, depending on the event, there'll be everything from helping with parking, which sounds like, I don't know about that. But once these volunteers get a task, they realize this is so important for this huge event, and they develop a system, and they've got walkie-talkies, and they just take it over, and it's really impressive. And then sometimes we're looking for people to face paint, and people are like, I guess I'll try that, and then you see them an hour later, and they're creating these masterpieces. So it's really fun to see people coming out like, I don't know what you need me to do, but I'm game,
Yeah. Well, we don't want to leave you out, Melissa. So Adaptive Park's a little bit different because that's more like you might be going to Give 365 with some Give 365 employees, but with the Adaptive Park, you're kind of doing that on your own, right?
A bit. So Adaptive Park is really similar, but it's facilitating longer-term relationships between volunteers and one of our parks. So adopters can be anywhere between an individual that likes to garden and they might work on their own and do some gardening and landscaping or native plantings in one of our local parks with our help. Or it might be a larger business that wants to donate and have more structured work days at the same park multiple times a year. So it's a really flexible program. It's just one that they return year after year and work at the same park. Some adopters even are just the neighbors of a park that have ideas or concerns about a park and really advocate for that, and we sort of act as a real liaison between those neighbors and Parks and Rec Department.
Awesome. Well, recently our cameras actually caught up with the Give 365 crew, and I think you guys actually got a lot of volunteers from people just walking by because they were so interested in this project. Why don't we take a look at this large group of volunteers and what they did to help spruce up a park and the hard work and how it paid off.
Argo Park just got a facelift with the help of nearly 80 volunteers and the Give 365 crew.
This is the Argo Cascades underpass, and what it was a really heavily blighted area that had a lot of graffiti and things on it, and it was just an opportunity for us to kind of bring a little more beauty kind of to an area that gets really a lot of heavy use.
The project spanned 4 days, and artist John Butcher designed the work in a way that volunteers could do the majority of the painting.
We projected the outline, did the outline, and then now it's a paint by numbers and engaging the community, getting the community involved in caring for their park, and now every time they pass by they can say, hey, I painted that.
The composition is an abstract, very active composition that will complement, I think, the idea of life here with trees, movement with the kayaks, as well as just the noise of the river going in the background. So something that will complement these sort of sensory experiences that isn't literal.
We started the graffiti cover-up about 2 years ago, so this was kind of like just a way more massive project than what we normally do, but was like a really great opportunity for us to get the community out and volunteers out to really, you know, kind of help beautify our city.
What an amazing accomplishment that was to make the Argo Park mural. It's beautiful, and I saw that we showed the before and after pictures, so it was a huge difference. Yeah. And I can't believe how people were getting up so high on that thing to paint it.
Yeah, it was a great project.
Is that one of the bigger ones?
Yeah, this was the first time we've actually done a project of that scope. We've done some other similar painting things, and maybe people have seen around in the park system some of the stenciling that we've done in areas that kind of get repeat taggings. And what we found is sometimes we would just have to go back out and paint things gray, and you're just kind of cleaning the canvas, and then it comes back, then I got to go back and back. So we had gotten in touch with somebody who had these stencils, so we started doing stencils in these areas to keep the graffiti kind of from coming back, which was really successful. And this particular wall in Argo, at one point was a pretty cool mural actually, but it was getting tags on it, and you know, there was like complaints, and so we're like, okay, what can we do? And we were fortunate to be able to get in touch with an artist who designed it, but it was that paint by number. We work with kids and young people that have never painted before and try to help teach also the prepping and some basic skills with painting, so you don't have to have any experience.
Okay.
Yeah, we usually, for any project, we do like a demonstration period, or just have like a little powwow before to talk about good skills and, you know, tips that we have.
We assume you know nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what you have to expect.
Right.
Is it Washtenaw County only? Like, I don't live in Washtenaw, so
anybody can volunteer in the Ann Arbor Park system. Super fun. So we get, I mean, our volunteers come from everywhere, from residents and neighbors, but there's many students that are here at the local universities who are, you know, from out of state. So one of the things we always share with a group is we welcome them to Ann Arbor, and we talk about the parks and kind of the community values, and really where our program has come from, and it's kind of the you know, people's interest and passion for green space in this community. And you know, we know with so many parks you need help, and volunteers play a huge role in maintaining the Ann Arbor Park system.
Right. Does the city, since you're part of the city, Ann Arbor, how can we help more, like as city employees, fellow city employees? How can we do more to help?
Well, you know, featuring us on your show is a good start. You know, marketing the opportunities. You know, we are always adapting the program to what kind of the needs and wants are. I mean, whether it's in Melissa's world where adopters are like, hey, we would really like to see this or that. There are steps you can take as a resident to be engaged and to direct some of those resources or request them. You know, things don't happen very fast within the city, but there are people working really hard to link up those resources and to help residents, you know, create the community that we all want. So, you know, that's what I tell people is get engaged. You know, start with Adopt a Park if you have ideas about your park, or you know, or you're seeing there's too many weeds here. You know, we will help coordinate a work day, or you know, try to engage the neighbors, and you know, whatever we can do. But we're just looking to respond to those wants and wishes in the community.
Yeah, because I mentioned there's 159 parks, but you guys are volunteering on about 110 of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of work. And I'm sure there's not many of you that actually work for the city. It's more dependent on the volunteers that you're getting to come in.
Right. So I'm a full-time supervisor within the program, and then we have what are the seasonal or year-round kind of temp staff. But it's mainly volunteers, and we just completed our fiscal year, and we had over 8,300 volunteer hours. So those are hours people are spending beautifying or enhancing in the park system. And it's really a pretty powerful impact when we can step back and look at, like, wow, these are all the, you know, whether it's weeds or overgrowth of, you know, I tell people all the time, when you think about your house, if you kind of let this little flower bed go for a couple of years, you've got trees growing and all this stuff. So imagine the parks with, you know, all the acreage that we have, and it's just a constant need to stay up on the maintenance. And
well, and it's amazing to me because I am a resident in Ann Arbor and I have A2 Fix It, and like a lot of people are very passionate about their parks and A2 Fix It.
Yeah, they are. I mean, and rightfully so. You know, the importance of parks to your health and the economy, and just they really can bring your community together, and they're a great space for so many reasons. So people care about it.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely had a new appreciation once I had her. I definitely got a new appreciation for the parks and the cleanliness and just the, who's there, and just being more aware, and even the structures too, the play structures and everything. I took it, looked at it a little differently.
Yeah. And there is just about one in every neighborhood, so that's
in Ann Arbor.
Really awesome.
I know. And she tells me about these parks. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many. Like,
yeah, we had a person who had gone around one summer and visited all the parks, which is a pretty aggressive goal.
Oh my God.
It takes all summer. 159. I call them park properties. Some of them are kind of more land versus park.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We are going to come back. So we're going to take a short break. And we'll be back with more from Ann Arbor's 365 Days of Service volunteer organization. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, we are back with Adventures in Parenthood, and we are here with Erika, Pratt, and Melissa Schacht, and we're talking with Give 365, the City of Ann Arbor. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you.
And we also got our special co-host. This is Bryn, and Keaton's over there.
Around.
She's coming back. So so we are back. So I didn't get to ask about the birthday parties, things like that in the park. Do you do anything like that as far as working with families who want to do anything?
So in the park system, you can rent the pavilions and hold parties and different things like that. That's through our customer service departments, where you could reach out to them.
Okay.
Most of what we do is open to communities.
Okay.
So some of our splash days at the pool, or if anyone's been to Huron River Day, or
Thank you.
probably my favorite event is the Trick or Treat Paddle, which is in October.
I love that event. It's so much fun.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And if you don't know, it's basically on the river at Gallup River. We have about 100 volunteers who come, and we put them in costumes, and they're out along the river with the candy. And all of the kids and parents and families come and trick or treat in a boat and go around.
And some of those volunteers really get into their costumes. It's hilarious.
Some are in the middle of the water.
And we've got pirates and trolls under the bridge. Fishermen over the dock.
When do you do this? How far out before Halloween?
Just like a week or two.
October. I want to say
That's okay.
the 16th or 17th.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's right before.
Call Gallup Livery and find out.
But Give 365 is everywhere. I feel like I'm always sending people out to events, and there's always some Give volunteers there around. And you guys actually have the Trash Trailblazers program, which I think is pretty important. I think the parks I go to seem pretty clean, but it could be because you guys are picking up trash, or it could be because people are conscious of it in Ann Arbor.
Yeah, I would say it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
The Trash Trailblazers was kind of something we created because we do a lot of trash pickups in many of the parks. And along Gallup, we noticed there's a lot of walkers, and there was a handful of people that had reached out to us, like, hey, can I borrow one of your, we have the really cool trash pickers, so you don't have to bend down.
Yeah.
So we have, what we decided to do was at Gallup and Argo have like a kit where people could stop in and borrow a trash pickup and a reusable trash bag and get some gloves, and they could sign in if they wanted to earn hours for us. But basically, it's just inviting the community. If you want to do that in your free time, you can just independently help out. If you're one of those people that, because there are people that want to make their walk more purposeful.
Yeah.
Sure. So it's really kind of cool. A lot of people do that on their own. Sometimes they tell us, and sometimes they don't. But yeah, it's just a way to engage, the walking community.
Do you can do that anywhere. Do you have any stories to share with us as far as like something that really sticks out in your mind of someone who did something just extraordinary, that did or went above and beyond doing something for Give 365?
Well, we recognize volunteers about 3 times a year at the city council. So you could probably speak to some of the long-term adopters that are really give a lot of time and energy.
Yeah, we have some adopters that have been adopting their park for many years, and when they're that committed, they do things like create gardens, like native gardens that support pollinators, and they really supply a lot of the creativity and the knowledge. We're fairly well versed in a lot of those like natural resource concepts, but a lot of our volunteers are as well, and so they help to design gardens, and so we have some of those. And just those long-term volunteers that really advocate for their park, even down to the playground or a volleyball court, and they really advocate for any concern or idea that they have, and then do so repeatedly and just touch base with us. And really, because there are so many parks, it's so important to us to have our volunteers and neighbors bring a lot of things to our attention and bring some of that creativity to it.
So when you adopt a park, are you guys helping provide the plants and stuff, or are they just doing it on their own, or how does that work?
No, we work with them to come up with an idea and to help make a plan and pass it along to departments that if it needs to be approved or involve other people. But typically we purchase the plants and then bring them to the adopters. Some adopters will purchase plants and then they get reimbursed, so that's a possibility for those projects. And then tools and supplies we can supply. So really, if someone wants to adopt their park and actually do some of the maintenance work, then we can supply everything needed. And even my favorite thing is to meet a park adopter out at their park and work together and have a little work day with maybe a couple of our staff as well, just to make sure that they feel supported. And then we also can get a separate volunteer group and to have a work day to have some backup at that park too, if there's kind of a larger job like spreading wood chips on a playground, something like that.
Okay. Do you cancel events or if in inclement weather? Do you have
typically with volunteers, unless it's thunder or lightning where we would have to cancel just for safety. But if it's light rain, we leave it up to the volunteers, because if they're willing to do it, we'll be willing.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we play it by ear. If it's we do river cleanups on the river, and so sometimes the weather forecast is like either the spring was pretty bad, or the water was too high. So things like that are out of our control, we would cancel or reschedule with a group. So sometimes there's some rescheduling that happens.
How long have you been with Give 365?
For over 4 years now.
What has been maybe the most rewarding thing that you've experienced yourself, or maybe your favorite project that you've worked on?
There's so many things. Every year there's new things and new projects that sometimes take a long time to kind of come to fruition.
Sure.
The mural that you just saw is definitely a recent highlight. But I was thinking with your last question, like a favorite kind of thing. And a few years ago, or when I started a junior volunteer program where we would kind of have a meeting once a month, just really trying to share what volunteer opportunities there were and invite younger folks who are kind of too old to be a participant in things, but too young to work. There's this little age where, they're a great age to get involved with volunteering. So I had this small little group 4 years ago, and there's a particular volunteer, her and her brother, who have come to many work days over the years. And the brother actually works for the canoe liveries now.
Yeah.
And the sister is a counselor in training at one of our day camps. So it's just really fun to see the growth of like, oh, these are kids, and then every year I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so much taller. You're like, oh, you're like an adult almost, you know. So that I really enjoy seeing kids kind of get experience with work and, you know, being engaged in your community.
And watching that passion grow over the years. Like for them to just decide, you know, probably when they first started, their parents were like, you're doing this.
Yeah,
you know,
you definitely see some of that, like, you know. But yeah, it's really cool. And, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, when are you going to be 18? Then I can hire you, you know.
Yeah. Melissa, maybe what's your favorite part about working with the Adoptive Park program?
I think it's the flexibility that the program has. So many times neighbors come to us and they have an idea for a project, and it really makes it exciting because I have these long-term adopters that I work with continuously, but there's always somebody new coming in. I have this idea for our park, or I have this thing I want to work on, and just the fact that I know that there's new projects, you know, coming our way, and the program can evolve like that, and there's always like a new challenge or a new thing we have to learn, like, okay, how do I have the utility lines checked, or okay, I have to plant this type of plant, which kind should I pick, something like that. So it's that flexibility, and our motto is anything is possible. So yeah, I really love that part of the program.
So how do people volunteer? Do they go on the website? They have a number they can call?
Any of the above. We answer our phones. We don't have any phone trees. We like to think that's like one of our best customer service things. You call us, we'll answer, we'll work with you, we'll follow up with an email. You can basically take a look at the website, say I'm interested in these events, we'll add you to that event list, and then about a week or 3 or 4 days beforehand, you'll get a reminder with all the information of where to meet, what to bring, which is usually nothing. We supply everything, but maybe water or to check the weather. So just kind of, that's how we do it.
Okay. And before we go, why don't you each tell us why you personally think people should volunteer with Parks and Rec?
Oh gosh, you should go first.
Well, a good reason is to get to know some of the neighborhood parks more. A lot of people don't know that there are 159 parks in Ann Arbor. People usually guess between like 10 and 50. So to just, when you volunteer in a park, you know, you really get connected with it, and it's a new place that you can visit. And also, it makes people proud of the work that they're doing, and especially when kids are involved, if their parents or their neighborhood is an adopter, you know, they adopt a park and have maybe a spring work day. It's nice to think that those kids, they're going to be playing in that playground, you know, the next day, and I'm sure they're really proud to know, like, oh, I planted that flower there. So yeah, it's a good way to just get connected with your community and get to know some of your local parks.
Yeah, and I would just add that, you know, it feels good to do something that benefits others. And, you know, we are so lucky. We work with volunteers, you know, every day who are like, hey, I want to donate my time and my energy, and I'm willing to do whatever. You know, like, how exciting is that? Like, I feel so lucky because you get to see the best of people, you know. And I love when people do bring their kids, or they've got tweens, and they're like, I need to do some volunteering. And they might not be the most efficient or helpful, but you're planting seeds of both service and, you know, there is some skills that you're learning in most everything we do, whether it's learning how to do basic landscaping or painting. You know, so I think it's just a great way to be engaged with your community and make a difference and do something for someone else.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for being on the show, and thank you for your patience. I very much appreciate that.
What an adventure.
Yes, that's the name of the show.
If you have an idea for a parenting show topic or guest, talk to us on Twitter and Facebook at #CTN Ann Arbor.
And for more on our programming here at CTN and our services, you can visit us at a2gov.org/watchctn. And thank you for joining on this adventure in parenthood.